Hello all, and welcome to a brand new year. Given the current situation, this is obviously not your typical beginning of school, and there's a few new things that we need to address right away.
So, let's go ahead and go over some of the big changes that you'll see walking into the North Little Rock High School this year. Let's start with drop-offs. There are basically 4 areas where you can be dropped off here at school. Now, you might be dropped off in our main entrance. You may be driving your own car and you enter through the Performance Arts Center, or you are dropped off by the buses, either by the auxiliary gym or, new this year, next to one of our towers. If you arrive through any of the first 3, that is the main entrance, through the auditorium or your bus stops by the auxiliary gym. That's how you will proceed. Now, after you get your temperatures checked, on to the cafeteria.
But this year, if you're a bus rider, your drop-off can also be tied to one of the towers. If that's the case, you will enter through your assigned tower and you will stay at the assigned drop-off location, which will be the learning stairs at the tower you just entered. So again, if you're dropped off by car, if you drive by yourself, or if you enter through the auxiliary gym, you will head to the cafeteria. And if you're dropped off by the towers, you will go to the learning stairs of that tower. And by the way, after 8:40 a.m., the entrances to the back of the towers and the auxiliary gym will be closed.
Now, let's go ahead and talk about entering the building. First of all, every morning before your arrival, you need to complete your self-evaluation screening. Then, in order to enter the building, everyone will have their temperature checked. In order to do so, you'll have to stand in a line, as socially distant as possible. As you pass through the temperature checkpoints and everything is okay, you will report to your drop-off holding location. And if there is a question about your temperature, you will report to one of the nurses.
Of course, one of the big things this year is the use of personal protective equipment. Yes, we're talking about masks. These are a mandate. They must be worn at all times when you are in school. That means when you are walking to or from a classroom and inside the classroom as well, except of course when actively eating in the cafeteria.
The masks should cover your mouth and nose and may not contain any design that disrupts the learning environment. And we understand sometimes wearing a mask is a chore, but this is done for the safety of you and for those around you. Because let's face it, wearing masks can, in this case, literally save lives.
Now we need to talk about how you guys are going to be moving around school. And here's one of the biggest changes you will see this year. So for example, our main corridor. As you can see, there is a clear separation in the middle. And just like if you're driving on the street, you should be walking on the right side.
But in order to enter the towers and to make sure that the flow of traffic continues, we will have specific areas where you will be able to make a U-turn and walk to the tower of your destination. So, don't cross underneath the ropes. Just take a few more steps and turn around in the designated area.
Inside the towers, there is a specific way of walking also. The flow of traffic here will be counterclockwise and marked by arrows like this. Basically, the right side walks away from the main corridor and the left side walks toward the main corridor.
And when it comes to the stairs, the learning stairs are only for going up. And we will use the back stairs to go down. Finally, the carpeted areas will have two-way flow in order to minimize your walking time, while helping traffic move right along.
Now we understand what a big change this is, but you must understand that this is done to improve the traffic and movement of you guys between classes and trying to minimize contact as much as possible.
Let's talk about lunch. And here we basically are breaking off into 2 groups. If you bring lunch from home, you will enter through the cafeteria through the bottom floor. In order to do so, just walk towards Tower D. And here, and during lunch only, you may use the learning stairs to walk down.
For those of you who get your lunch from school, you will enter the cafeteria from the main corridor. When you get there, walk directly to a table. In here, the maximum seating will be 4 people to a table. There you will wait until staff dismisses you to go get your food. You will line up, maintaining social distance, and once you receive your tray, you will head back to your table. And again, to help the flow of traffic, we will walk around the cafeteria counterclockwise.
So, we've talked about your arrival, your movement between classes, and our lunch procedures. But before we talk about the end of the day dismissal, there are a couple of other things we need to talk about. First, no one is allowed to enter the building unless it is a student, a teacher, or personnel from the school district, which, for example, changes the way any of you can be checked out. From now on, a number of spots will be marked with symbols like this on our main parking lot. If someone is coming to check you out, they will have to call the attendance office, and the student will walk out of the school to the designated spot. This also means that nothing can be dropped off for you guys at the main office. So, no lunches or any other missing items can be dropped off anymore.
Also, per the requirement of the Department of Health, we will do our best to do contact tracing in case of COVID-19 positive result. If a person on our campus tests positive for COVID-19, any person who has been within 6 feet of that person for more than 15 minutes will be quarantined for up to 14 days and urged to receive a COVID-19 test.
Last but not least, let's talk about the end of the day dismissal. First, every student will be dismissed via intercom, one location at a time. Now, bus riders, for example, will be dismissed according to the 4th block location and will exit into the teacher parking lot to the towers or the auxiliary gym.
Everyone else that are car riders, student drivers, walkers will exit through the main entrance to the bottom of the cafeteria or the performing arts centers and will be dismissed 5 minutes earlier. But the main thing to remember is that the dismissal will be staggered via the intercom, one location at a time.
So, there you have it. Yes, there are a lot of changes this year, but please remember, this is simply done for your safety and the safety of everyone here at school.
It seems crazy that we have to say it, but the truth is that there are lives actually at stake here. Following these guidelines will literally help you and everyone around you during the school year. And of course, should you have any questions, please ask your teachers or administrators.